In my home, there was absolutely no pictures hanging on the walls, or my parents were kind of middle class, not educated people. And they started to photograph at the same time than a lot of people in the 70s in France, when photography became much more democratic with the films and the Polaroids. But I don't know if the fact that I was adopted has changed my relationship with photography, because I could not relate to the people in my family albums because they didn't look the same than I, because I was adopted from Korea, or because my parents didn't introduce me to it, because they had very little knowledge about it. So I think this is why I came to photography pretty late, and I got to understand its power. There's always been music, there were books at home, but no photography. And I came to it very, very late. And I came to discover its power very late. I don't know, I never questioned that. As photographs, I miss knowing where I come from, obviously. I arrived in France with a small file saying basically that my origins are completely unknown, and that was the photograph that struck me as a child. So it's very egocentric, but because it was all around the mystery of my origins. It's the photograph of the day I arrived at the orphanage. And I was disturbed by it as a little girl, because I was very small and tiny as a baby when I arrived at the orphanage. And at the same time, I cherished that picture very much. It's just that it's as if my past is reduced and concentrated onto this photograph, this ID photograph that I had. And besides that, to be fair to my parents, whom I love very much, I used to look to a lot of photos, maybe looking for clues about my past that was not mine, through their own albums, or stuck bunch of pictures that they all put into a box. But the thing is that, yeah, photography was not very special and was not a specific object. We took them, it was immediate. I mean, my parents took them, but their relationship with it was to put them into a box and to kind of move on until they take the next one. I haven't looked at those photographs for a long time, because my mom passed away, so it was difficult for me to look at those photographs. That's the strange relationship that you can have about recording your own history, or history with a big H. Strangely enough, I stopped photographing my parents and my personal story, my friends, my holidays, which I didn't take anyway, when I became a photographer. It's as if photography had to be super serious, had to be about work, and not at all about the very essence of photography, which is to record and keep the memories of anything and everything. There's nothing left that disturbed me the most, but when you go into the flea market and you see those old pictures of families that are sold to strangers. Sometimes they are even sold as postcards, where you can see the message that is written behind. I find it extremely sad, and it moves me a lot.